So, welcome again to another episode of the R and Love podcast. So, we are R and Love.
I'm the R.
I'm the N. So, I am
We are
Nadia.
love. And I'm Rodney.
This could be long. Okay, and then so we are a married couple, married millennials. We are parents. We are observant.
Business owners.
We are business owners. We're talkative at times, and then not at times, but today we are. And then we are also friendly. And
Yes.
so we have a few people who are joining us today, and I have to say a few because it's not just two. We have the Stokes in the house
We are
today.
stoked to have the Stokes here.
I'm sure
Yes.
they've never heard that joke ever in life. Ever. I am sure they're just
They
excited.
want the hair a lot tonight. So
Anyway, so we'll let you introduce yourself, guys. Tell us more about you guys.
Okay, so I am Nicolette,
I'm Kevin.
and this is Nyla, our almost 1 year old. She'll be one literally in a week, y'all. I don't know how to feel about that.
You went by fast. You
Yeah.
went by really fast.
Aw.
But yeah, we are also married millennials. Kind
Y'all
of
caught
just
millennials, like y'all caught that. Like I feel like y'all at the end of that. Y'all ain't.
oh, man, don't do me like that. Yeah, we millennials.
Okay, go
You
ahead.
know, I think I barely graze it though. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. But I know Gen Z or what they name. That's it, right?
I don't
Gen
know.
Z.
Yeah.
Gen Z, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No man, don't diss me like that.
I know, man. I'm sorry. Okay, so the purpose of the show. So usually we just sit down and we talk about some things that were brought up, or people who write into R and Love podcast at gmail.com or on our social media. Any issues that they brought up as well, we discuss those. We discuss relationships and parenting and everything like that.
And this
Okay.
season,
Yeah, this season we wanted to talk to some other people, like get different vantage points. So we decided to talk to a few couples, and we've talked to a few couples thus far, and it's been very engaging. Just hearing their stories, their background, understanding who they are, and what has brought them to the point that they're at. So, and what makes them tick. And we want to dive in with the Stokes with that.
but he'll
It's like
comments.
Oh, but yes, we need to hail up the people who were the early birds, the people who were waiting in the parking lot for the doors to open. So we have to hail up Ashley. Ashley Hall was a former guest, if you guys remembered a few episodes back.
Oh, no,
So hi, Ashley. Then we have Mama Celeste. Dan
hey,
Russell.
mommy.
Listen, these parents are the best. They are really.
I was just about to say if ain't nobody was gonna be here, she would have been right on it.
Okay. All right.
And speaking of parents,
I got my mommy.
Hi.
Hey, Lids. How you doing? Love
me
it.
trying to watch it tomorrow. Hi, mommy.
Yes. All right. And so we have a few other people in the room watching as well. So don't just watch, just comment and add to the conversation as well. So
Yeah.
what we plan on doing is diving in on you guys' story. So we just want to hear a little bit more about the Stokes.
Okay.
Well, I would say I definitely made the first move. We was in college in trigonometry.
Yeah.
We was in trigonometry. I sat in the back of the classroom. She sat in the front of the classroom. And I knew I needed help. And one day I just asked her after class, can you study with me? Can you help me get my work together? Because she was very smart. She knew all the answers. She was one of those girls raising her hand when the teacher asked questions. So I knew she would be a good tutor. And yeah, one thing led to another, and here we are.
But what's crazy about it is like I was new. I mean, like I just came over here. Now, usually, like when guys, like American guys, would ask for my number, I would always be like, "Oh, I'm from here. I have no U.S. number. You can't, you know what I mean? Like you can't call me or." Like it was always some kind of excuse as to why we just couldn't have no kind of conversation. But I don't know. I just like, okay, this guy need help. Let me just, and
Okay.
yeah, we just. But we actually met because that was back in 2014.
Okay.
and we was like friends like for years until about that was like 2017. Like the end of 2017, that's when we really started dating. But the whole time we were really just friends. Like, and it was crazy too because like I would go home on breaks and stuff like that, and he just had WhatsApp already. So even when I was home, like we would still communicate and stuff. Like it was crazy that we kept that connection. And
Nice.
yeah,
So for those who don't know, because I mean we know, where's home for you guys now?
okay. So we lived in Arkansas. Kevin is actually from here,
Okay.
born and raised.
Okay. And which colleges was you guys at?
What, college?
Oh,
Yeah.
University of Central Arkansas.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
So before you get into the comments, I know let's see these comments. I have a
Yeah,
question.
we have to hail up a few people. So Donovan Roll is in the house. He says yo, as he always does, as if he's a cap or something. Big time Sigma, right? Miss Hall, how you doing?
And
She's
that's
hailing us up. Yes. And then we have Shiva. Shiva says the power of the light skin. That's
No,
what it
man.
says, Nicolette.
Tell Shiva, don't do me like that, man. Don't do
That's all it was. Yeah, so Big Sis Nash is in. She says the Thompsons are tuned in.
Hey,
We got all
sis.
these smart people.
So question, guys. You see, you guys were friends prior to dating for about 3 years. What are some of the things you learned about each other that I was like, this is a good friend?
I feel like for me, Kevin was always someone I knew I could talk to. Like no matter what the situation was, I always felt comfortable talking to him. Like, yeah, he was always like really attentive and like supportive, and he always had the right things to say. And even now, like in our relationship, I still feel like that. A part of me feel like because he's also a psychologist, guys. So I think that has a major role in, like it's like he naturally have that. Now I know what to say. I know how to help you out. Like this is this is this. Like he honestly helps me realize things that sometimes I can't even, see myself. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that's-
tell us more about your story though. Like dive in.
Go on,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Well, like said, Nicolette was she was just a good person to talk to just in general, like she had said. And honestly, she was interesting. Like I said, she
Yeah.
was from the Bahamas, so I really wanted to know more about her, and the more I learned, the more I realized how down to earth she was. Like she would enter a lot of things that I'm interested in, like for example, like space and stuff like that. So, and yeah, with my psychology background, it did teach me how to communicate in a proper way, if that makes sense. Like know what to say and how to say it so I can get a good response in return. And from there it just worked out. And I am liking her more and more and more than we
Now
we
we're
got
here.
married.
So you guys have a couple of fun stuff. One is communication, man. What kind of advice? Because not everybody's a psychology buff like you give. What kind of advice did you give the guys who are either friends or dating already, married, who communication isn't as easy for them to to
Communicate
use?
with their spouse. Yeah.
Advice I would give is take a step back and try to see it from the other person's perspective. I think a lot of times we get caught up in our own personal feelings, how it affects us. And is it working? Is it still on? Like it froze.
You got the Wi-Fi? Yep.
Can you hear me?
Hello? I know it's on my phone.
Yeah, that's us.
That was us?
No, it's us. That was us.
Okay.
What
Are
was
we
my question?
back up?
Hold on, I think.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, we're back
Yeah.
up now.
Okay. Where was
See that piece of gems of advice.
You
I
insane.
was spitting hot fire.
You
But
Oh, wait.
advice I would give in relationships, as far as communication, would be to take time and look at it from the other person's perspective. I think a lot of time we get caught up in our own personal feelings and how it affects us. We'll never try to see how it affects that other person as well. So I say what I would do is take a step back and just wonder, all right, she's mad, so why is she mad? Let me figure out why she's mad instead of focus on why I'm mad. I already know why I'm mad, but I need to understand why she's upset. And I feel like if I can understand why she's upset, we can come to a common ground and solution. But I feel like a lot of times, like I said, people want to just caught up in their own personal emotions. They'll never want to just try to see how the other person is feeling as well.
That's nice.
Empathy. Really,
Look at
that's why it's been 8 years, man. That's good.
Thank
And
you.
next thing with friendship, I know we were friends first as well before we started dating. Do you think that's a key part of relationships to be friends first, or do you think just be friends during the dating periods? What are your thoughts and views on
Okay.
Like, think for a second.
I think it definitely helps because I mean, like being friends first, you get to, I guess like you get to learn the person on in a different way. Like, like you're just friends, so it's not like, I don't know, like I guess like an attraction or like you're not looking at it from a relationship perspective. So you really like know this person as a friend. Like you get to see a different side of this person. Like they ain't trying to like do this and that to like impress you or like get a certain response from you or nothing like that. It's just like that's the real them, like
that?
Yeah.
and I think that that's important before just jumping into a relationship, because here it is now, exactly, like you basically know the real them.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I totally agree. There's not this like pretense, there's not this facade, there's not this I'm trying to impress
Right,
you, or other motivations involved
right,
like just yet. So we get to be real and have
Yeah.
fun, and I get to see you in your high moments and your low moments. So I just get to understand how you think.
right.
And that is so much of a key. So it's like if I get to see all of that and I still like you, like yeah, man, we good to go.
Right.
We good to go. This is a good thing.
Mhm.
We have questions in the comments. So, but first, Shiva coming for you,
Nicolette.
Nicolette.
Man,
So
Shiva,
they're like,
man, what I do, man?
say light skin plus intellectual equals Nicolette Hooked.
Oh
Listen,
yeah, yes,
and
yeah.
Miss Hall would like to know. She said she missed it. How long have you been married?
Okay, so we've actually been married for a year now. We celebrated our 1 year anniversary last year, September. So yeah, hmm we new to
Nice,
this,
Mm,
man.
man. We new to this.
No man, how y'all talking? Y'all got these veteran advice. You even get me taking
I
notes.
telling
Listen,
you.
But I have another question though. It's a lot of persons are like stuck in that friend zone because they have such a good thing happening with their friends. They don't want to like rock the boat or tamper with that relationship.
Now, anyway, he talking about a lot of people. That was his excuse
That was my
before before he made the move.
since you
So
put my God, that was my thing then. Since you put out the my thing
that
was
sounds familiar.
we were friends first, and I thought she was such a good friend, and I said I don't want to try my hand and lose her friendship, but I knew that she was someone I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. What was that thing for you guys to say, you know what, I would chance, potentially risking this relationship as a friends to take it to the next level?
Yes. What was the catalyst?
all right, this one on you.
Uh, I can't exactly pinpoint what it was, but I just knew that I just enjoyed being around her. And I knew the best way to do that is for us to be together so we could be around each other a whole lot more. And yeah, I guess at that point when often with first friends, you hang out for a while, then like, all right, she's gonna go home, everything be fine. Then while she's not here, I mean, I would still be fine. But then when I started realizing when she wasn't around, like, dang, I really miss Nicolette. Like I really wish she was here right now. So then, like I said, when you get to hanging out every day, and like I said, just one thing doesn't lead to another.
Yeah.
Oh. So, like, you have to be aware of how you feel outside of this person's presence and then determine whether or not that's something you can live with, is what you're saying.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Nah, he got it, but he got to articulate his feelings. What? So we got that. So you guys are friends. You know, he lied, but he can't do math. But he could do math because he thought it was cute. Then you say you guys became friends. You took it to the next level. Is dating. What was one of those? I wouldn't say roadblocks. What was one of those things that you had to get adjusted to? Because Nicolette, you're from Nassau, the Bahamas. Kev, you're from the states, Arkansas. What was one of those things that say, man, this really is like culture coming together, but it isn't, adding up? What was one of those things? Or any fun stories you guys have?
I'll say one. I like I said, I'm from Arkansas. She's from Nassau. Y'all say "bae," right? Bae.
But
Over here, you say "bae" to somebody that you have affection and feelings for, like somebody you're actually dating. So the first time, like I said, when I'm in that phase of trying to figure out how we're gonna date or not, I heard her call like some guy "bae." So I'm like, all right. And so I let it slide. then another bay and another bay and another bay. I'm like, all right, hold up. I don't get it. Like, why is everybody bay? And then she explained to me that's just a common word that y'all use. So that's something I definitely had to get adjusted to. I thought about it for weeks. Like, I don't. Why is everybody bay? I don't. Like, you cool with all these people?
right.
All these people need help in trigonometry. Like, what you doing?
Exactly.
Right.
What about
Kevin
you,
was
Nicolette?
like, I thought it was just me.
But yeah, I'll say just the language.
the language, yeah. But it's something I like to say "bay" a lot. So it's like man, I guess. I don't know what's equivalent to what you guys say over there, but just in turn, it's not even in terms of endearment because "bay" can mean so much different things.
It's how you say it. It's
You
like,
say
babe,
"bay," that's like
stop it.
"bay" could be a warning. You say "bay," that's like, okay, you should back up.
It's
Like "bay," that's like beckoning someone to come. Say
babe,
"bay," I have something to
like,
tell you.
like something
I like
happened.
"bay,"
It's a
that's like
lot of
a
stuff.
rearrange. You guys know
Yeah,
what I mean?
sorry.
I don't know. It's a
Sorry.
whole. It's a whole. I don't know how to
Yeah, I had to learn all of that. I had to learn all of that. But at first, yeah, I was really confused.
I remember when he first brought it up to me too. I was like, "Oh my gosh, no, that's not what I." Like you got this all wrong.
Yeah, that's not it. That's not it.
But don't worry, y'all.
Whether-
Now he hip to the lingo. He know way. He know mother sick. He know everything you could possibly think of. Everything.
I'm very fluent.
he say he fluent now.
Very fluent.
So I
What about you,
mean,
Nicolette? What were some of the things
yeah,
that
you
you
had
had
to
to-
get
That
adjusted
I had
to
to
in
get
terms of, like,
adjusted to?
differences.
Uh,
Um, for me, let's see. Definitely wasn't a language thing. I think for me it was like some of the things we would say, I guess that would be acceptable back home. It's like
mhm.
that could come off as, or even just how you say things, it could come off as rude or like, yeah, like rude or like demanding. Like that was like a, oh my gosh, like, like to me, it's like, no man, I mean it like that. Like that's not, even if I just say, oh Kevin, come here. Like to us, it's just like, yeah, we just saying come here, but it's like you literally have to be more mindful to them. Like it could come off as rude, like you sound demanding.
Yeah, I'll say I can't speak for all Black people in America, but I feel like to an extent we're aware of what people are saying to us and try to make sure they're not trying to be offensive while they say it. So it's almost like at first when she would say something, be like, "Who are you talking to? like who you think you're talking about?" Then I realized she don't mean like any offense by it. But yeah, that's how we are over here. I don't know why we just make sure when nobody trying to say something slick to us or say something that was over the top, so we're already on edge, and as soon as we hear something, we jump on it.
Like even if you say, like, sometimes we would say boy, but we ain't saying boy in a disrespectful way.
No.
To some Black people here, boy could be, almost like racist in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of like basically where the term came from, like how it was used and stuff back in the day. So it's just some stuff, like even just this small stuff is like, okay, I didn't mean it like that, But like I say now, Kevin is used to it. So I think just when it comes to like differences, like as far as cultural differences go, it's just coming to like a common understanding of how we say things and stuff like that. So yeah.
I wouldn't even have considered that because I mean,
Right.
think about how often, first of all, like that. So that's a whole lot of mix up for us because he says "bay" often, and
Often,
and
aggressively
I
do
could
at
really
times.
say "boy, boy, look here,"
I could
and
say it too. Yeah.
look at me trying to start something that I'm trying to start. Like no,
Right.
like no, like I need you to come see her, come quick, come quick.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why
Like, who
I'm
you
trying to say
talking
it
to?
right. Like, what's happening? Like, no, and I
Right.
really
I get it.
understand that. Like, it's really considering and making a lot of considerations and
Yeah,
understanding for the other person. But that's cool, and y'all work through that quick. I mean, it's
y'all are decent. Because
light
Y'all
years
out
ahead.
here.
Okay.
I'm a aggressive, I'm an aggressive talker. So I can't imagine the things that I say. And it's not aggression as in terms of I did about it, it's aggression, but it's a love in there. But like you said, in terms of context and in terms of how it could be spun or how it's interpreted, I was very mindful of as well. And I guess that's why communication, Gavin, is your thing because you saw what she meant beyond what she's saying, and you actually have
Right.
the patience to say, no, let me see. I don't think she's meaning something disrespectful.
Yeah.
Let me see what she could possibly mean. And I think that's a lesson you take in any relationship
Mhm.
that you can't only like when if someone is hungry or tired, you can't just assume they mean the worst. They're hungry or tired. You just have to like Kevin say, see how they feel about it because they might just be hungry and tired. So don't get offended. Just say, hey, how can I help you in this situation?
Side note: I'm a whole Hulk when I'm hungry and or sleepy.
She's a epitome
Um,
of the Snickers commercial. Like you're not you when you're hungry. She's a epitome of that. It's like and I just smile off and say, you sleepy. Let's go upstairs. Let's go lay down because we talk about
in the
it
evening
tomorrow.
is not a good time to have a heart to heart with me because I'll say some things because I'm sleepy. I'm like, let's get this conversation over with quick. Like, what's
And
the KOID did you with?
I feel like that's literally like a similar situation for us because I feel like I'm more of a morning person and Kevin is like the night owl. So in the nighttime, listen, if you don't message me by 10 o'clock,
Doggy
I
time.
gotta wait until tomorrow. But I up bright and early. I up
Mm-hmm.
bright and early, 5 o'clock every morning, and he's sleeping like we complete opposites in that aspect. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the comments and I go.
Oh yeah. So let's hit up the comments. We
Big
have
brother Michael
Big Brother Michael
from
is
Lucha.
up in the comments saying what's up.
What? Michael, what
Yeah.
you doing here? Boy, Michael, you're far, you're far.
Oh Lord. Yeah,
Actually,
Nash is
she had the minute. Actually, she got another minute.
Nash is saying that Rods is very sweet. Yes, he is.
Aw.
He's the sweetest thing, child. Tommy said, "My look is everything. Love it." Listen, thank you, Tom. Thank you. I try to get used to the ball and I miss it. It's been a while. It's been a while, but I trying.
Nadia always on here slaying
I
all
love
the
when she
time.
has people like you in my corner. This is what I need. Yeah, no, yes, Ashley, I am admitting it, and Alexander, you really didn't have to encourage Ashley.
Cosign.
Wow. Yeah. So when I am hungry and sleepy, I am a beast. I'm a horrible person. But other than that, I'm a very nice person. And these
Yeah.
are things that you get to know about me. That's fine.
And
Cool.
acceptance and understand that comes to the territory. So that's fine, man. She said the Sour Patch Kids are done with all the sweet and sour. Anyway, hold on,
This
conversation.
ain't about me. This is not about me.
quick, and that's quick top, quick question. One thing you guys had, and Nicolette, you from the Bahamas, we know the level of snow you all had over there was bananas crazy. How was that for you, Nicolette? Because I mean, it's you see you have a
It
long
snows
sleeve.
in Arkansas?
It's like, do you want to see the picture? It's like
Oh.
it's 60 something degrees over here, and that causes us pull out the long sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How are you managing over there?
Okay, so honestly, by now I used to it. Like I am used to it. As far as like the cold and stuff like that, like 60 something degrees ain't cold to me no more.
She is.
It really ain't. It ain't cold to me no more. Like I would say cold is probably like 30s. That's cold. But anything higher than that, I could manage. I could manage now. Now, this snow that we just had, that was ridiculous. Okay, like I feel like Arkansas ain't never saw that much snow. Like that was
Okay.
record breaking.
It was like negative two
Was it?
degrees on some days.
Yes, it was
It
in the
was
again?
negatives.
It was what?
Negative 2 degrees.
Why?
-2. She is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just it's a winter system. It just came over and But that's like living in Arkansas my whole life. One thing I would tell people who would visit here, if you ever visit Arkansas, is bring clothes for every season because you'll go through all 4 seasons in a week here. Like Nicolette tell you, one minute it's raining, then it's super hot outside, then next day it's in the 20s or 30s. It's all over the place. Like snow like this, I haven't seen it this deep, but I've seen snow like this before.
Yeah. The snow was actually, I think the most we got this past week was up to like 22 inches.
22 inches of snow.
Yes, and the I think the most they had on record was like 15 inches, and that hasn't happened since 1918. So it was like over 100 years they haven't had like anything like this before. Now I wanted it to snow. I really wanted it to snow because I really wanted Nyla to see the snow. But this was too much snow.
It was too much. We was in the house for like 4 or 5 days.
Huh?
4 or 5 days?
Yeah, we was in the house about 4 to 5 days. We got out today for the first time.
Yeah.
But it was in the house about 4 to 5 days.
Because like this the South, so people ain't used to driving on the roads. Like basically everything would shut down whenever it's just a little bit of snow or ice on the road. Nobody driving in that down here.
Yeah, so we get 1 or 2 inches, they're gonna shut down. Schools and major things like that, but with 10 to 12 plus inches, it was
like no one could
go
anywhere.
Of days,
yeah,
before it got everything back up and
running.
Wow,
that's crazy.
That is okay. So back to cultural differences, right? you guys have been blessed with a beautiful baby girl who is so sweet right now, and she's sleeping. Yeah, like, y'all need to see her. For the listeners, she's a Gerber baby. She is all cheeks, thick, beautiful hair, round face. Like who's trying to smile in her sleep? Okay, she's a sweetie, right? Do you think that your diverse backgrounds dictated your parenting style?
That's a good question.
I thank you.
That's a really good question.
I would say our parenting styles are I think more similar than they are different.
Okay.
Like, I think we have that just like even now. I feel like now that she's starting to get an attitude, and we're trying to get it under control. But yeah, one thing I would say, I think we're just I don't know. I think we're being real patient with her. Like we're not quick to jump at her, start screaming and yelling. Because at the end of the day, she's still a 1-year-old, so I wouldn't expect her to know everything. But other than that, yeah, I think we're almost the same.
Yeah, basically. Like I think we have similar parenting, honestly. I feel like the only difference is it would be like a difference between male and female. Like, like a mother is always nurturing, like, like mommy always the emotional, come here, baby. You know what I mean? And daddy is like this fun guy. Come when you want me to throw you up in the air.
It's fun time when I come around.
Yeah. But I mean, other than that, now let's say baby too sometimes. And somebody asked me that too, like if I feel like she gonna have a Bahamian accent. And I was like, maybe like early on, because for now, like she's around me the most. Like even when Kevin at work, it's like always me, not all day. You know what I mean? So I feel like starting out, she probably would have a slight accent. Like she would say certain things and stuff like that. But when she starts school and get around more of her American friends, that's gone. That's all the window. But I think she would always be able to understand and comprehend like what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No man, that's beautiful, man. No, I'm a big advice person, and one of the things I love about you guys, your showcase like black love, showcase young love, and then showcase the family. So some persons who are interested in starting a family or just ain't too sure the next step, what kind of advice you guys would say to, I guess, maneuver or to just stay on the right track as relates to raising children?
Well, it has to be a team effort. I feel like y'all decided to do it together. It has to be a team effort, and like I said, know when to put small petty things to the side. I mean, everything's not worth arguing about. And I think one thing that we've worked on together is something that we may be irritated about. Let's put it on pause and not just mention at the moment and see if we're gonna still be mad 30 minutes or an hour later. And most times we're usually not. And then from there, that helps us, I feel like, have more patience with Nala as well, as far as parenting and there's some stuff she do.
Yeah, and like I mean, like for me, it's like everybody's gonna have arguments. You're gonna have like disagreements and stuff like that. But I feel like it's always important for you to show your children that you're making up. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like you
Yes.
have to show them, even if you have your little arguments and stuff in the front of them. I mean, which you should try to limit as well. But always show them at the end of the day that okay, mommy and daddy they ain't mad at each other no more. Like show them, always come back to showing them that love. I feel like that's what's really important.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
One of the best pieces of advice I've received was from my former boss, Christine Williams'
Yeah.
daughter. No, she's 12, could be 12 this year. She said the best thing to do for your daughter is to love her mother because that's going to be the first example of, and that's the kind of advice I always give, especially fathers. Say, no man, how they watch how you interact, and
Yeah.
you guys saying the same thing. The children watch how you interact with each other, so they're going to base their relationships, whether it's with themselves or with their siblings or with somebody else, off of that. Oh,
So we have a question in the comments, right? And the
Okay.
question is, are you both from large families?
Um, I come from a big family. Well, my immediate family, I have two brothers and one sister.
yes.
So I mean, I guess that's kind of big for now. That's wouldn't that would be considered big? I feel like four kids.
Yeah.
That's
In one
big
house?
for now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be big now. And
I
I see
have
that
two.
differently. I see 4 school fees. I'm like, oh my God. But anyway.
I have two younger brothers, but my mom, she has 7 siblings. So I have a lot of cousins. So I also have a pretty big family. My dad's side, I don't see them as much, but there's a lot of them as well. So yeah, we have a family reunion like on my side of the family, my mom's side. We have family reunion every year. There's like
Nice.
went one year. There's like
yeah,
100+ people almost every year that we have come out and just like so we go to different cities and stuff like that just to meet up. We do it every Labor Day weekend every year. Have a family. We haven't done it this year because of last year because of COVID, but yeah, I'll say our family pretty big.
and honestly, y'all, now that was definitely something different for me. I wasn't accustomed to, like, like I feel like for us it's just okay. We get together for weddings, funerals, Christmas. You know what I mean, like major holidays and stuff like that. But they actually have like a planned weekend for a family reunion every single year, like the same weekend. Every year is Labor Day weekend, and they always have it in a different state. Like you always go to a different. Everybody meet up at a different location, and I feel like that's so cool. Like
It is.
that's something that I would like to, like carry on as far as like family tradition or stuff like that.
I think we're on our 40th or 50th year anniversary of doing it. It's been going on for a while, even before I was born. So yeah, I think it's something my grandma had got started, I believe. Her cousins.
That's nice.
So speaking of family, one of the things I see you guys did what I loved. We did the carving thing, the turkey carvings. Is that something you guys normally do just regular at home events? Because I mean, like Nicolette said, we get together and we do things. Someone get married, baby born, someone dead. But to see you guys just do something out of the way, that's Thanksgiving. Is that just something you guys normally do?
I would say, I would say that Nicolette comes up with the ideas, and I'm always willing to participate. Like I don't know, we come home and say, hey, let's do this. But if I come home, she say, let's do this. I'm like, all right, let's go do it then. So yeah, I mean, Nicolette's real good at finding little hobbies and little things to do that I never would have thought of doing on my own. I've heard about pumpkin carving for years, but she brought it up and we actually did it, and it was really, really fun.
Yeah. And then too, like even with that, like sometimes it would be his brother and his brother's fiance. Like they would come up with certain ideas and be like, hey y'all, we should meet up and do this. And we just be like, yeah, that sounds fun. We should do it. So I mean, for us, that's definitely something too that we had talked about making a tradition like every year. So like even when his brothers have kids, like they can come over and every year they know, okay, we got pumpkin carving for Halloween. We got, you know what I mean, gingerbread house making for Christmas, like when they could meet up with their cousins and, make stuff. So, yeah.
I feel like it's important for families, especially in this digital age of YouTube and stuff like that, to actually take time away from electronics and to do something with your hands or do something fun, whether it's painting and stuff like that. And then you'll learn a lot more about each other by doing things like that. But actually, like there's things I learned about my mom when we did gingerbread houses. I didn't think I would learn from her. I know her my entire life, but nonetheless, stuff like that I feel like is important. So that's definitely something we want to bring into our family and continue going forward.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, one of the things you guys are creating is a village. I know we're big on tribes, big on villages, and I love the header. And I know over here we do it as well. We have our siblings, families, like let's say our Grammy, our aunties, whatever. And the fact that you guys have that over there is awesome as well. Is there something, Kevin, that I know you say you have the family reunion, but is that something you guys normally do in terms of keep a village, or I guess a tribe, for lack of a word?
Well, a smaller village outside of the family reunions, right? Your immediate tribe or village, is that important for you?
Yeah, I would say so. 'Cause like I said, everything I embody in my life, I learned from my parents first off. So a lot of stuff I do is just a reflection of them. So yeah, I would say it's very important. Like having the cousins, stuff like that, that's very important as well. But definitely, I still have a very close connection with my mom, my dad, and both my brothers, and more on a personal level as well. I feel like a lot of times people have siblings and they're just siblings. They don't really know each other personally well enough. Like you know each other as a kid, but do you know who your sibling is as an adult? And I feel like we took the extra steps of learning about each other as adults as well, and taking that time to continue to grow and learn about each other.
I love
That's
that
really
one.
important.
Hearing your siblings as a kid versus as an adult. What is something, Kev, that you learned when you got married that you can see now through your parents' eyes? I know for me, I appreciated certain things with my father and my mother more when I became a parent. And I got to appreciate certain things with my dad more when I became a husband. What are one of those things, Kevin and Nicolette, that once you now I came into the world or you all got married, so you know what? I now see what mommy don't
Or be
say.
like, oh, that's why they didn't have McDonald's money.
I was gonna say, man, Rodney, I almost feel like you was neglecting me. I was like, okay, Kevin, okay. Nadia, ask me some questions, please.
Please. I got you, girl.
You can go ahead.
Well,
Like what you learned, like what like looking back now and being a parent,
wow.
like what could you say? Like, yeah, my
Uh,
mommy probably was right.
Mm.
well, there's a lot of things. I'll say this. My mom and dad always used to tell me when I was younger, you don't understand what I'm doing for you now, but you appreciate when you get older. They just say that all the time. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I see what they're talking about. Like, for example, even something simple as how much stuff costs, like for groceries and things like that. And like every time we'll go out and say, we want to get McDonald's, we want to get this. My mom said, no, we got food at home. I see what she's talking about. I see what she's talking about now because I mean, when you guys start paying for food and just bills and stuff like that, just seeing how she handled finances and honestly, like I said, we didn't come from a very wealthy home, so just seeing her how to handle dealing with during struggle times and things like that helps me now be able to withstand what's going on now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man, that makes a lot.
Mm-hmm. Nicolette?
For me, I y'all, my mommy had this shirt, right? I don't even know if she still have the shirt, but the shirt say, "Wait till you have kids of your own, honey." I know Nala ain't even one yet, but that is so true. Like me and my mommy was talking about that like probably a couple months back. But seriously, I feel like when you have children, I always like every time Nala do something, I would be like, wow, like mommy, wow. Mommy, you was right. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, that's something I could say just looking back. Like I feel like just in general though, like in all aspects of, being an adult, having kids, and just like Kevin mentioned, paying bills, it's just like you really get to see life through your parents' perspective when you was a child, like in every single aspect. So, hmm
I know for us, I think, yeah, so going back to the bills and making sure that you manage everything, and it's like I want to spoil you, like I want to give you the world. I do. Like I look at them and I'm like, yeah, we could go out to eat or we could do all of these fun stuff, but then like I also want to show you that it's good to be responsible too, or it's
right,
good to cook as well, or it's good to find entertainment at home or entertain yourself, you know. Like
yeah,
I want to show you that as well. I don't want you to leave our presence and always have to, because now you're not able to like take care of yourself. Like you always have to
right,
get something out there, or you always have to be in the company of others to find entertainment. Like I always want to make sure that there is a balance, like, you
Mhm.
know.
right. hmm
And I'm thinking that that's what like Neville and Lydia were trying to teach me
Mhm.
when they say go read a book. But like I'm hoping that that was the case. But I mean that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, man. And it's important. It's a lot of things you can't understand as a child
Yeah,
that you because your vantage point of life is different as a child.
Right,
yeah,
Responsibilities is different as a child that you now understand as an adult. And now it costs me to appreciate that the kids can't understand certain things now.
yeah.
So I don't get as frustrated with them when they ask for certain things because I mean they're still children. So yeah, they,
right,
they enjoy it. So they want to do these things because it's fun. So
Hmm.
I say, okay, now how can I find ways to compromise in the middle? Okay, we can
right,
still do the fun memory stuff, but now we still gotta be able to be fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
Because one thing I hold my hang my hat on, I try not to have them understand certain things. It's like they don't need to understand how to pay BEC. That's not the lesson at 10. When you get 14, 15, I teach you how to pay light bills so you can be prepared for when you become an adult. But I mean, if you fall and then you keep the light off because the light bill run up, they fall, they don't understand, they won't play game. Like stuff like that. So that's that's my son. So Nicolette, why I was holding off on you? I for those who few people know actually, but I've known Nicolette. I've known Nicolette a very very long time. I
hmm
am a
How
fan.
long have you known her? I
My
mean,
whole life, almost.
Yeah, exactly. So I watched Nicolette grow up from a young lady, a little girl actually, like Nala, to a beautiful wife now, a mother,
whole
a
wife.
whole life, and someone mother. And I Nicolette, I am so proud of you, baby. I am like
Oh, don't make me
hardly.
cry on you, man.
Real talk, man. I'm
She ain't
so
even
proud
trying
of
to
you.
cry.
I'm so proud of you. The stuff that you're doing, the woman that you've became. I'm so proud of you. Kevin, I thank you so much for receiving her and making sure that she is taken care of and allowing her to grow in the presence. And now on cue, now let's just
Listen,
wake
Nyla.
up. On cue, now let's wake up.
And this is
And-
why
Y'all look
you
like
need
y'all
to
I
catch.
reach now.
Y'all need to catch, you know, our Facebook lives and catch us on YouTube because you will get to see this beautiful little
Beautiful.
girl. Oh, with the cheeks and everything and the bows. Hi, Nyla. How are
Hi,
you?
baby.
Say hi.
She's so sweet.
And
Like,
I see in person, she can look at me sideways because she doesn't know who I am. But I watch you, Nyla, so I feel like we have a connection. But I understand if you don't know who I am when you meet me.
like I saw the half birthday cake. I'm still waiting on my slice. No? Okay.
So Nicolette, how was it for you? Because again, you grew up here in Nassau in the Bahamas, and now you're in a different place. How has that transition been for you? How just has that been for you in general, just not being here anymore?
Here we go. Okay, so one thing I could say about living in Arkansas, it's not like fast paced. So I mean like Arkansas really reminds me of home, but just in a different way. Like obviously it ain't no beaches or nothing like that. But it still reminds me of like it reminds me of island life just like in some aspects because it's not like living in New York where it's like super super fast, you know what I mean? But as far as getting adjusted to being here, I think the hardest part is just um like dealing with being homesick. Because I actually haven't been home since 2018.
Wow.
So yeah, I haven't been home in a while. Like since before I had Nyla. And then
I agree, Nala.
is this
Come
your
on.
time to
Yes.
shine? But yeah, so it was like I had Nyla, and then right after having Nyla, COVID came.
Yeah.
And so that kind of put everything, on hold and stuff like that. So for me, like I say, it's just dealing with being homesick from time to time. I try to video call my mommy and Nashi and Michael them like as much as I can. Like I would literally video call them multiple times throughout every single day.
Nice.
So yeah. So I could say like even though we're not around each other physically, they've still been able to see Nyla grow and her progress and stuff. And honestly, I know sometimes people feel like, oh, this girl always posting Nyla on Facebook, but it's really so my family could monitor her growth. Like they have a way to keep in touch because I know I haven't been able to go home and they haven't had the chance to meet her yet. So it's like that's a way for everyone to be able to keep tabs on, what's going on.
Right.
I
Because
appreciate
Nash
it.
is in the comments right now about Auntie Sweetie. She's
Yeah,
going out to what we were
that's
talking about.
that's
And
how
it's
one
Nyla.
good niece.
I kid you not, and shit about the news. It's of course in trouble. I kid you not. I honestly log in the Facebook to see your page. It's that and probably one other thing, but I go to your stories immediately, and if it's not in your story, I go
Aw.
to your page, and I that's all I do is
But
Facebook
then
for.
that's why we wanted to reach out to you because we see how you love Kevin. We see how Kevin loves you. We see how you and Kevin love
Manifested this love
Nyla.
into Nyla.
So, and y'all have fun with each other. Y'all play games. Y'all do activities together. And so, even though
Yeah.
you may have different backgrounds and you're living in a different place, you still find a way to make it work and make love. And I mean, I ain't trying to talk about that type of make, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah.
They married people do.
Yeah, no, they do that. Let me get out of that business. Anyway, you find ways to make it work, is what I'm saying. And that's something that we look up to
Yeah.
and we really commend you guys for.
Thank you. Really
Thank you.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. We trying, y'all. We trying.
Y'all are doing. I like to tell people it's doing and not doing. You guys are definitely doing. I again, you guys. I remember you have a picture, Nicolette. How would your ideal baby look? It was Nyla. Like I don't know how they got a picture of Nyla. It's like so you guys are like the and it's a lot of pressure, but it's true. You guys are the epitome of like young black love, and I think that's a beautiful thing to see.
Yes.
I think that's it's again it's a heavy ground to carry, but you guys carry it well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I would definitely encourage you guys to keep it up, keep you guys first, let Nala know the love of God and love of her parents, and keep it moving. You have a beautiful Felicia, and I love it there. So,
Definitely.
I never met Kevin in person before, but through social media and then through talking to you, I feel like I know him.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then same thing with his family and stuff.
And
Um,
definitely
Yeah.
after this conversation, the admiration is growing.
yeah, man. And especially
Thank
let
you.
me teach you more about communication. I like to talk, but communication is something I'm continuously working on. So I appreciate the lesson in terms of communication. I want to assume, Nyla, tell us where the name Nyla came from and what's your name and where the name Nyla came from.
Okay, so Nyla. At first, I was like, oh, we should name her Nala. Like, Nala from the Lion King. And
Mhm.
Kevin was like, no.
And they rather than Disney character.
I was like, okay, what about Nyla? And then he was like, yeah, that sounds good. And we just went with Nyla.
Very good.
Mhm.
It's
That's where
beautiful.
Nyla came from.
I like the end name.
Nadia. Yeah, I sure you
Yeah,
would.
Nadia, we gotta stick to the,
What you think.
yeah.
But is there anything that you would like to leave our listeners with? Because we're getting up on our time. Is there
Okay.
anything that you would like to leave them with? Any final thoughts?
Okay, I would say, I guess for anybody wanting to, like head in the direction of, having a family and marriage and I mean just being young with it as well. I would encourage you to stick to that. I feel like even just as Black people, this is really important in this day and age. I feel like you become a part of this, it's like you breaking generational curses and yeah, like you moving in a totally different direction. Like this is honestly what we need. This is the type of love that we need. This is what we need to portray because especially for children they cling to what they see and they mimic what they see. And so, once you have that representation now, they have something that they can look forward to and, hopefully do that same thing. So I think That's one thing I would leave with y'all. Like, it's important.
I would I agree with all that. And I would say take time to get to know yourself before moving forward in a relationship. If you move forward in a relationship, you don't know who you fully are yourself, you're more likely to come across issues in the future. So it's best to really understand who you are, and then from there, it'll help you be able to find out exactly what you want. Because, like I said, the divorce rate, I believe, is at like 50%, at least over here, which means half relationships don't work. But I think the reason that is because I think a lot of people get caught up in the honeymoon phase of the relationship and not really paying attention to the little things that person may do or not do that they may not like later on. So, like I said, find time to know yourself and know that person before moving forward, because your emotions and your heart is very sensitive. So you gotta be careful with where you place it at. And so, yeah, take that time and do your due diligence, and more than likely you'll have a good outcome.
So before we go, yeah, I have a question for you because you psychology. What if you're already in the relationship? You're already married, so you guys are married 5, 10 years, and you have kids, but it's not necessarily working the way you want to work it. What advice from that, like I said, that psychological communication standpoint, what advice would you give the persons in relationship and how to stick to it?
I would say, like I said, find out who that person is right now. Who that person is now, that same person they was 5 years ago. Or same, like I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. No, neither is Nicolette. So take time to know who that person is. I think a lot of relationships get caught up in who they met when they was 22, 24, 25 years old. But say you're in your 30s or your 40s now, it's a different person. So find time to know who that person is, and then make sacrifices. Like I said, even our relationship, I know I can say, I'm pretty sure she can say as well. There's a lot of things I just don't take time of even trying to argue or get involved with, and she doesn't as well. Like so, we're all humans. We all have emotions, so we all may say things in the heat of the moment. But like you had said earlier, Rodney, recognize it's the heat of the moment and just let it go. Just let it go and move forward. And like I said, take time to speak to each other openly and be aware of how your words impact that person. Because like I said, if you're angry and you say something in the heat of the moment, you can't change how that's gonna make that person feel. So I tell like even the clients I have, I tell them if you're mad, just stop talking. Just stop talking and take a break and breathe, and then get yourself together and then go back and have that conversation if you want to be successful.
So I need to keep Snickers around the house, is what you're
Say
saying.
what?
I need to keep Snickers around the house, is what you're saying.
If that helps you
Right,
work, then
Steve.
if that helps, then yeah.
Enough said. J Fitness, don't even worry about it. I'll burn off the calories later.
I actually do that same thing with our son. We have a 12, I got him a 12. She's 11. She's gonna be 12 in October. I don't know why you're trying to fast forward the age.
No, please don't.
She's 11, sixth grader, going to high school. Whew, going to high school, and our son is in grade 2, and he is 7. So with him, he gets up. He tends to get upset at times. I tell him, simply you say, stop talking, because what you're gonna say is gonna get yourself in trouble. Just pause, breathe, stop. I know for me, with him at least, because what you're saying, Gavin, I love, and I wish I heard that when I was his age. I wasn't necessarily taught to deal with my emotions. I wasn't taught to talk about it. I was taught to use a boy, suck it up, don't talk about these things or
That's a
whatever.
big thing.
So now I'm trying to teach him to talk his emotions out. So now I'm realizing that I need to be more patient too, because he doesn't understand how to deal with emotions, period, because he's only 7. And now this is new territory for both of us because I never dealt with the emotional 7-year-old boy before. So now I'm trying to I'm trying to get him to understand his emotional intelligence. How important is it to develop emotional intelligence in children, especially young? Because I know knowledge is beautiful, but we want that to how important it is to catch them while they're young, opposed to try to catch them when they're like adults or teenagers.
Yeah. Well, like I say, actually, my job is I'm a counselor at a school, and one thing I can say is
Nice.
really,
Yeah,
like I
he
said,
works. He works with kids.
yeah, I work with kids at a school, but I would say I think a lot of kids, like I was raised the same way. Like say you're a boy, now supposed to be tough. You know, I say you're not supposed to show these emotions, and I learned later on that's not the way things supposed to be. But nonetheless, I would say give your kids the opportunity to express how they feel, no matter how they express it, and then from there take the time to explain to them or try to help them decipher what it is. I think a lot of times kids have these thoughts in their head because they're smarter than what you let them on for. But I think it's our duty to explain to them what those thoughts may or may not be. And also, with that being said, you can't be biased. I know a lot of parents are gonna be biased when they teach their children, but I feel like you should work. Okay, yeah, I feel like you should be universal and yeah, just take the time to listen to your child and let them know that it's okay to feel a certain type of way or have these type of emotions. It's just how you react when you have those emotions. Like I tell my clients, there's nothing wrong with being angry. It's just how you react when you are angry or when you are sad or it may be. So let children know that they can speak to you and that you are willing to talk to them without basically being a judge-free zone. A lot of kids, and especially the older they get, what I've learned is they get further and further away from their parents as far as what they say to them, as far as their personal feelings. So when they get to their teenage years, however you raise them up to the teenage years determine how I feel like they're going to be for the rest of their life as an adult. So I feel like the young years are the building blocks and the foundation you have to set and solidify if you want, I feel like the most success out of your child. And if you wasn't able to do that, you still have time to do that, but you have to take, like I said, take the time to talk to your child and understand from their level and understand, like you said, if they're 6 years old, speak to them on a 6-year-old level. And also with that being said, I can go on forever about this, but to wrap it up, you could have a 10-year-old, but they may be mentally an 8-year-old, or they may be mentally a 6-year-old, or they may be mentally a 15-year-old at 10. Talk to them on a level that they can simply understand and give them, like I said, more credit than what they already have. Like I said, these kids I know are smarter than kids were 10, 20, 30 years ago.
I think
So
that's
they're so exposed to the world. So explain to them what they will see, because they're going to see the world one way or another. So I feel like it's our job to explain to them what the world is showing them. That way they don't approach it the wrong way when they enter into the world.
okay.
Beautiful.
Look at him just like
That's
teaching
cool.
us.
That's so cool.
These
That's-
folks.
you guys are getting wise beyond your layers. I'm
Okay.
learning, and I appreciate. That's why I love that we doing this because I get to learn, and I get to learn. I don't know the listeners learn. Right
There's
now,
an
I'm
exchange.
learning.
Hopefully, there's an exchange both
Um,
ways. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
definitely.
I enjoyed it. We should definitely do this more often.
you know what?
We gonna
I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous at first. I feel like it's a job interview. I don't know what to say. But nah, it was real good. And Nicolette showed me
Awesome.
some of the things I've done before. I feel like y'all are doing a real good job.
Yeah.
I feel like it's important that y'all are showing, giving people a platform to show how things really are and can be. I feel like it's really good. Y'all doing a great job.
Yeah.
No man, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know what it is for us to get it just evolved into this. It's really God is working through because we just want somewhere where we just could talk and we realize that I think you Gavin Nicolette mentioned it before. There's not much positive imagery out there.
Right.
So it's always some whether it's not popular or it's not interesting, whatever, but it's not necessarily much platforms for people to really see just
Well,
people just vibing or just being cool.
yes.
There's
Yeah.
nothing attached to it, just
Like you
having
don't
a
have to have an
dialogue.
angry conversation or you don't have to have a pointed conversation. You could just have a
Just
conversation.
have a
And then
conversation.
you have an
Bro.
exchange of ideas and it's
Mhm.
pleasant. Like, why can't it be a pleasant conversation?
Not like talking so.
Ah.
That's what it is. So thank you guys for this. Do you guys are you guys planning anything? I mean, I'm biased. I follow you guys. So, but are you guys trying to pivot in that direction? Are you doing anything of that nature? Or you just being the Stokes in Arkansas?
I guess you mean like get into. You mean like how
Yes.
you guys have a podcast?
Well,
Yes.
anything? Like, are you doing anything like that?
How can we follow the Stokes in the future?
If you want that.
If that's okay.
Without giving too much information now, we're still in the brainstorming room, but
Okay.
we I think we both want to find a way to get out there and speak with people and like to give people a platform to talk on as well.
Yeah.
How we're gonna do that route, we're not exactly sure because we have Nyla and she's a handful and
Yeah, y'all. I don't know if you guys know, but we have another one on the way too.
We
yeah.
do know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Y'all should say Belly.
Oh,
Yeah, but
good. It's a
yeah,
vibe,
I feel like I think one day we will get into it. We just gotta we're still getting our foundation fully together and settled. That way when we do start to build, we'll be ready.
Okay.
Right.
Awesome.
Keep us updated.
Yes. So
Definitely.
why is it me?
Yeah,
Okay.
good.
So thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for listening to the R and Love podcast.
Thank you
And
to the Soaks for coming on, allowed us to pick your brain Sorry, I saw.
Yeah.
That's the picky brain. Anyway, talking. I don't know what picky brains means something different with that, but that means allowing us to get feedback, allowing us to learn from you guys. So
Yes. So if you want to catch this episode and past episodes, you can watch this episode on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and it'll be available on Anchor and all other
audio,
podcast streaming
audio,
platforms.
yes, Google it. R in Love podcast. You can come up.
And if you have any questions, you can send us an email at rnlovepodcast@gmail.com. So this has been another episode of R and Love. We thank you so much.
Yes, and it should be an awkward now. So thank you guys so much. And until next time, we will be here. Not next week, will be after next with another couple.
Yes.
Another couple. So see you guys later.